All right, lads. I will try to make it quick. Right. We had an officer meeting. I'll just go over some rough notes. So, P1 Dementius, no one can die. Dying without the ability to res someone, so two deaths basically, um, is a wipe. Just the way P1 is structured, we might be able to crawl out of P1 if someone dies very late and see platforms for a bit. But if someone dies early, we're not going to be able to do soaks and all that bollocks. So don't die, thanks. In terms of roster, and the comp, it has to be Vax or Sato. It cannot be both. Just because of the ad damage nature of the fight. I've already spoken with Sato. Sad feral noises, all those other memes. Um, yeah, it's just unfortunate. The unfortunate meme comes back, eh? That'll get old. So future roster changes. What we're planning to do, and we can't do it this week because people are locked. But Vera will be switching from his Shadow Priest to his Blood Death Knight, and Nick will be going from Blood Death Knight to Dev Evoker. This will give us more ad damage. We still have a second DK, or we still have two DKs, but mainly one being Blood DK with the Massacre shit. Yeah. Um, so that should help with the ad damage thing. I know on Thursday we made some decent prog, but the comp was far from optimal for making prog on an ad damage fight. So the fact that we did make prog is great. I know some people were disappointed that we didn't reach platforms. I understand that. I also wanted to reach platforms, but at the same time, we were playing with some people that were new in on the boss. We were playing a pretty weird comp. It wasn't entirely dog shit, but could have been better. And since then, we got a lot of information. We've made changes. We move on. Um, so this note, raid plan needs a touch up and some reformatting to lock in the game plan very specifically. People not following the game plan can now get called out specifically. The raid plan has been redone. That's what you see on screen right now. I will go over it. Look at the damage taken graph and reorganize raid CDs around it, see if we can prevent any more random deaths. I've done this. It is pending a discussion with Logan, just so that I'm not tripping, but we will see. I think I've done a good job. I hope I've done a good job. I'm also going to go over that. We won't be doing a fourth soak set, so any CDs that were planned for the fourth set are now moved ahead. Final note is that people just need to be capped on eye level and gear. At this point, if you're not 728, maybe 727 if you've got a couple hero pieces. Come on. Just pull a finger out. Feel free to message me. I know I'm not online in game as much recently because I'm enjoying Battlefield and I'm just enjoying raid logging. Um, but yeah, if you need a tank, hit me up. I am a tank. You also have I am a tanker. Hit him up. He does keys. There are other tanks in guild. I know Nick has his tank characters. Sato has been playing a Vengeance Demon Hunter. Hit him up. Yeah, plenty of tanks. Ping in the Discord. Do your keys. Right. Raid plan. Let's just go over this real quick. Focus ads. Brilliant. But that's really all it truly is, this P1. When you boil down P1 to a simple thing, it looks very, very easy. Now I know it's not, but it looks very easy. Focus the ads. We then drop our puddles. Your puddle positions may be slightly different. This looks updated. Definitely seems updated. Very cool. Focus ads inner and outer. So this is what Vera was trying to say. And we actually, when I made this raid plan, it didn't have the arrows. Carano has gone and made this raid plan, and he's re-added the arrows. Now, in a discussion with Serena, we ended up removing the arrows because what we were doing ended up being correct by the end of the night, and changing what we were doing could actually hurt our prog. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to explain what's on screen and explain the logic behind it, and then we're just going to keep doing what we were doing, but have this in the back of our minds. So, the concept is to focus the ads, this first set of ads, as inner and then outer. You can see they are labeled inner and outer. So, as soon as the ads spawn, everyone's hitting inner. The soak spawns, everyone goes into the soak. At this point, only the range can hit inner, and the melee can only hit outer, which is directly next to the soak. Which is why we haven't been focusing it, because we can get more uptime on it whilst doing the soak. However, if we go fully gung-ho on the inner ad, then what's going to happen is that these ads need to die within 8 seconds of each other, or they go back to full HP. So if we go so hard on inner and then don't kill outer fast enough, we're fucked. So it's probably a good idea for the ranged DPS to still be doing what we used to call the ranged ad, which was outer, and then finishing inner, and the melee starting inner and finishing outer. But range hit both / highest HP ad, melee attack inner ad before the soak comes up, swap to outer ad while soaking. I'm sure you understand the logic of this. But the main thing to remember, let me skip ahead a little bit, is... Ooh, Carano, you've done it wrong. I should have checked this. So the second ad sets, these locations are flipped. So inner is next to the soak and outer is away from the soak. So we have to flip our logic and go outer, then inner on the second ad set. On the third ad set, it returns to inner and outer. So that's something to bear in mind. Now, as I said before, we were, by the end of the night, once we had realized we needed to hit the ads, crazy concept, we were doing this. So just keep blasting the ads. Just fuck them up. Done. Gravity on the markers. Please don't drop shit on the markers. Thank you. A final note on this for the soak. When the ads are about to die, if it is your turn to go and pick up an orb, go and leave the soak and stand under the ad to pick up your excess mass immediately. Pick it up immediately, because then you cannot be knocked up with the reverse gravity. If the ads die fast enough and the people who need to grab the excess mass grab it fast enough, there are no issues. That's all it is. Ads need to die fast, mechanics done fast, job done, easy. Gravity on markers. Second knockback, we go close to the anchor puddle and we spread around it. Very cool. Ads outer first and then inner, although these locations are flipped. Then after this, we're stacking mid with gate. And this is the point where health pot, health stone, anything like that is brilliant. Because this is a really, really spooky part of the fight. Which brings me to the raid plan. Let me zoom it in on just P1. So I'm going to go over this bit by bit to explain changes that I've made. What we are doing. I may have fucked up. That will be alright. This is pending changes, subject to a conversation with Logan. These personals reminders might move. Some of these externals might move, but we will see. Fight starts. We do kill ads, first devour cast. Kube is just blasting it. The other healers are obviously also healing at the same time. But yeah, Preservoker just kind of solves that. Um, okay, so the first soak is spawning. Uh, Promise is going to drop his AMZ for the right side, and Pravum's going to drop his rally for the left side. We then have wind rushes, which will be dropped on the soaks, so that the people who need to grab their excess mass can run and grab them. Also, I put a raw here so that we could get to the middle stack faster. Sorry, I should have said that in order. Maybe I did. I don't know. Personals. Very cool. Second ad set. So we've done a knockback and puddles at this point. We then have a Zephyr and Mass Barrier before the soak spawn explosion thing happens. We're then going to drop a darkness in the soak on each side. So we all stand in the darkness and we're nice and safe. And we reduce the ticking damage of the soak. Because coming up is the Devour cast, which is where we're trying to preserve health so that healers don't have to blast everything. There's a time spiral here. The stampeding roar. Yeah, just we're all going to jump into middle. There's going to be an AMZ and a spirit link on the other side of the portal, and we have a darkness before we go through the portal. Hopefully, this helps people not die. And then after that, we do another ad set. There's a Zephyr here. I might move that. Logan might move that. I'm pretty sure we need to add another personals call here. I'm sure there was another personals call. Maybe I deleted one by accident. Sorry. Yeah, so that's the note for P1, and honestly, that should be fairly fine. Let's escape P1 and get into P2. Final thing to look at. So this is kind of, I don't want to say like preferred roster, like I dislike certain people, but this is the template roster for this boss, right? So we got the Blood DK, we got a second DK. We're going to be running 2 Elishams. Also, welcome Deox, our new Elisham trial. Yeah, basically, the idea here is you see this. Now, let's say Carano can't make it. All right, we need to kind of do a 1-for-1 swap with Carano, which also means that all the assignments here, we can say, okay, you're going to be on the right side, person replacing Carano, and you're going to do Carano's positions for the puddles, and preferably it's a melee replacing Carano, and yada yada yada. So where the fuck was I going with this? I think I've just yapped too much. I'm sorry. I'm trying to explain my roster thinking because I haven't posted a roster this week. From next week, I'm going to start posting roster again. But I just didn't want to have to cancel raid nights. Let's hopefully not cancel raid nights anymore. Yeah. Why didn't it stop recording?